Hello, my name is Ethan Brown, also known as Otholvin. I'm an artist. I sing and produce. I create beats. I'm a recording engineer. I try to do things that are necessary for what I want to get done on my project. So today I'm going to showcase for you my song, When We Fight. It's a song that I made over the last year or so, but really started to get finalized in the last few months. It's very special to me. It was a lot of hard work, and I learned a ton from it. So let's get started. So we're going to start with the beats. Now, the beats are mostly some packets I got from FL, but I used them for my own purposes, mixed them around, and made them sound a little better. So let's listen to just the beats. So the thing about these beats is that this one here and this one here are kind of the same sound, but I mixed them with different EQing so that they would create kind of a cool effect on it. You can hear that kind of a echo effect. Part of that comes from the Galaxy Beat Echo that I have, but I also felt like you get a little bit more depth when you have two of the same sounds that are mixed differently doing the same thing. And then you can see that from the EQing that I've done. So the first speed, I kind of just tampered it down a little bit on both ends. And that's the EQing I did there. The main beat, I subdued the hell out of it because I just wanted that little bit of hint in the background. In terms of the compression, DBX 160 is a fantastic plugin. And then, of course, I used the 1176. And then, of course, I had the parallel compression for it. I had a chorus. The chorus on the beat was something I wanted to experiment with. I'm not sure if a lot of people do that. And then I had another compressor I put here just for the side chain element. And I put everything to a bus, and that went out to the mix bus. And I did my usual chain, which is EQ, compressor, SSLE, and then an SSLG. So next we have the bass. Now the bass I recorded through a DI box. I actually built the DI box myself. So let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, so that's the bass. I did play the bass for this song. I didn't have to do a whole lot with this bass. You know, I tried to keep it relatively simple. So I tampered down the high end and the low end, you know, and so I tampered down a little bit of the low end on it because I didn't want it to interfere with the bass, with the beats and all that. Tampered down the high end because I didn't want it to interfere with the vocals and the guitar, and so I kind of gave it its own nice little spot here. Side compression with an LA 2A because I felt like it was a good slow attack that would do well with something like a bass which has a good tail to it. Chorus, delay, SSLE, SSLG, you're done. So now we're going to do the guitar. Let's hear what a little bit of it sounds like. So for the guitar, I had my Pro Q4 where for that one, I almost entirely cut out the low end because it has a very distinct tone to it. And then I threw on a DBX 160, again, just something that I felt like was a good compression that does its job without making itself really prevalent, itself really known. And I mixed it with an LA with a 1176 LN Rev. I put in the parallel compressor because, you know, with parallel compression, I like to have something that can bring out more of the character. I put on a reverb, you know, the pure plate. I put in the chorus. I put in a delay. I put in an EQ on the delay because I just wanted to experiment with that a little more as well. E channel, G bus, you're done. Next, we're going to do the vocals. So this song was very special to me because I ended up making the song with somebody else where she provided the vocals for the track originally. And originally I was just going to have her do the vocals. But I thought it would be a good idea to mix our vocals together. She actually suggested it as well, said, you know what, your voice should be on this too. So I'll play a little bit of both of them. I took the hint. You didn't have to speak. You looked at me like I'm the freak. And now for Maria's vocal.
We were warm, we were born, we were alive, we were so high.
So that was the vocals when they were mixing everything. Now let's hear them when it's just the vocals. I took the hint. You didn't have to speak. You looked at me like I'm the freak.
We were warm,
You can hear the difference in the mixing that I did. For my vocals, I used the Slate ML1 digital microphone, which is a really cool microphone that has a plugin where you can virtualize different microphones for your uses. So the microphone I used was the SM57 Vintage, but I could have added in any one of these if I wanted to. And it just makes that slight bit of a difference that can really change how something sounds. So that's what the vocals sound like. In terms of the plugins that I used, like I said, the VMR, that's the Slate Digital virtual microphone. I use Pro Q4. Literally, I use it on everything. It's the only EQer that I use, basically. Cut out a little bit of the lower end. I really smashed the high end on this one. I think I might have been standing a little bit too close to the microphone because it was just not really what I wanted to hear from my sound. I had a telephone effect that I wanted to throw on to mine because it just added that little bit of extra oomph. I actually had it outputting to the main output instead of to the Vox bus. It was one of those happy accidents where I saw that I did it after, but it sounded so good as is. I was like, I'm just going to keep this. Again, it's that experimentation factor. Threw on a distressor, SSLE chain, chorus, delay, LA2A, had the Vox bus chain. This is kind of my typical chain. I had the A-type plugin, which is a pretty interesting one. It's just a multiband dynamic enhancer. Great for throwing on things just for a little bit of an extra mix, a little bit of weirdness if you want to have that final mix bus with the Pro Q4, the E channel, the G bus, and I actually have the Shadow Hills plugin as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you listen to the song. I hope you enjoy it. And yeah, I hope you enjoy everything I make. Take care.